My video for March the 16th, 2018 is entitled, Many Have Asked, How Long, O Lord? It's a challenge for me to stay hopeful and even somewhat optimistic about personal and planetary situations that we all face every day. I say we, since I do not think for a moment that I'm the only one. If what we are told about the Bible has any historical truth, the question has perplexed mankind for at least the last 2,000 to 3,000 years. Are we trapped in a time loop that merely repeats itself over and over again ad infinitum? That's a Latin phrase that means to infinity or forevermore. Whatever the historic reality, we have been asking the question in one way or another in every culture and generation for a very long time. Why is life so hard? Why do the most greedy and evil beings seem to be in charge? Why is suffering pandemic in human culture? Who betrayed us? Who or what can set us free? Like many, I cry out for answers and action from what I hope is a loving creator. Certainly the God of this world is not worthy to be called Lord, as if he, she, it is truly loving. It is obvious to many that we live on a planet run by psychopaths. Where's the love? I have spent the day brooding. Yes, I went out and did my walk and hugged trees and connected with nature for the better part of an hour. I did my shopping, and except for those excursion, or that excursion, actually I combined them into one trip. I've been pretty much at home today brooding over the situation, personal and planetary, looking at the world. Of course, I have family challenges right now that I'm facing that are relatively new within the past week. And I'm trying to reconcile that as best I can, but it doesn't look like it's reconcilable, at least in the near future. And neither did, regardless of what people are saying about the RV and positive changes coming, I've been hearing that virtually all my life, but especially in the 21st century. I've been hearing it over and over and over again that we're going to have change that really makes a difference in the world. But all I see is things getting worse. And I read a thing sent to me earlier today about what they're doing in Texas and some other places. They're actually taking homeless people out and just dropping them at sea. They're getting rid of the homeless. In places in Northern California, they're wiping out entire cities. And in other places, not just California, not just Texas, but in other places here in the United States, they are doing atrocious things that don't make sense. When I say they, again, they are the demonic element, the satanic influences, whatever you want, whatever malevolent label you want to attach to them. They are the heartless, perhaps soulless beings that are incapable of creating a world at peace, incapable of creating a world where there is harmony and where there is even justice. I look here at the biblical references that I have on the computer screen next to me. How long shall I cry for help and you will not hear? Or cry to you violence and you will not save? Behold, I cry violence, but I get no answer. I shout for help, but there is no justice. O Lord, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long shall I take counsel in my soul, having sorrow in my heart all the day? How long will my enemy be exalted over me? My God, why have you forsaken me? Far from my deliverance are the words of my groaning. Those are just some examples from the Old Testament. And it appears, as I re-examine my beliefs through the years, that it's the Old Testament God, the jealous God, that is at the root of all the violence that the people that they're writing about there are exclaiming, what's going on? The world is insane. It doesn't make sense. Everybody is crying out for help, and there's no help coming. Have we all been on this merry-go-round that goes nowhere? And each time it makes a cycle, we have a new life? I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know. All I know is that there has been a longing in the human heart for peace, for love, for justice, for qualities that would lift humanity out of the doldrums and bring us to a place where we actually can experience peace on earth, love among our friends and family and people that we just happen to connect with and run into. I've mentioned in many videos about Anastasia. She doesn't live like that, but she's one individual with apparently 2 little kids and a man that she connects with periodically. He's the voice. She's a recluse. Do we have to all become recluses? We all have to hide in some uninhabited place that we are the only inhabitants, we and our next of kin. I mean, what's it going to take to bring us to a world that is sensible, a world that is not just hopeful, but fulfilling needs of the actual people? And I don't mean taking them out to sea and dumping them at sea because they're homeless, because they're destitute. I don't mean that. That's insane. That's an insane solution. Of course, the elite, we know that they want to reduce the world's population. They considered most of humanity to be useless eaters. They consider people like me to be troublemakers because we're trying to sound the alarm and wake people up and get people to take action. But people don't want to take action. I mean, not even people that I love and people that are friends. I mean, there seems to be more and more walls going up. Not coming down, but more and more walls going up. I've watched, some of my spiritual community, I've watched the communities fall apart. People don't even want to support one another by meeting together and giving encouragement. That's too big a deal for many people anymore. And some put their hope in political solutions. There is no political solution, folks. The problem is not political. The problem is spiritual. The problem is that the world has been given over to less than honorable beings and allowed those less than honorable beings to be in charge. What's wrong with that picture? Can you not see it? I can see it. And I'm sure there are others that see it. But what's the solution? I wish I could give you one. There is no solution if the Creator does not in some way, shape, or form take action and deliver humanity the promises of justice, the promises of abundance, the promises of actual freedom, the promises of truth, the promises that would actually lift us up and give us a different reality, a different experience of what it means to be alive. I want that. I know many of you want that. And yet, so few of us are able to work together to that purpose, to that end. Thank you for listening, and namaste.